Hey guys, Merry Christmas. We got a Christmas special here for you guys over at Gnarly Knives. Alright, so basically what we're going to be doing is I'm going to try and not make this video too super long, but I have a wide range of different knives, some folders, some fixed blades, and some knife accessories. So things that can all go along, all inclusive, just different gift ideas at different ranges, different budgets. We're going to be looking here probably, ooh, I don't know, probably about 20 bucks up to about 200 with the knives, and actually even less than that. I think one of the knives here is about 12 bucks. So stay tuned and let's check out what we got going. So I think we'll start off, we'll do the folders, then we'll move to the fixed blades, and then we'll move to the accessories. Try and keep a little bit of an order going so that, like I said, try not to make this video like 5 hours long, which I know I tend to do with the long videos, so I'm going to just shut up and start going. First on our list, this is actually, well, it's my knife, but I've given it to my girl. She uses it until, I don't know, I find another knife I want to get her. But the Benchmade, oh, I got a little stuff on the blade, but this is the Benchmade Mini Griptilian. Now, this is the older version. This is the 154 CM model. The new ones now go for the same price. I bought this for 95. They still go for 95. The new ones are going in S30V now, which is pretty cool, and that they're keeping it at the same price. So that's always pretty awesome. But like I said, so this one's the 154 CM, or if you get a new one, will be S30V. But very nice handle, small, good for people with, smaller hands, or if you do like smaller knives. It's definitely within the legal range of most places. It's well under 3.5 inches. I'd say it's just under 3, but a lot of fun to play with. I think just about anyone would enjoy this knife, and of course Benchmade's famous Axis lock. Great, great knife. We got a little spot I'm putting them so we don't repeat them. We got one here, actually, is going for, I think, $46. This is the Kershaw Leak. This is a Ken Onion design. There's a flipper, and you got the Wharncliffe blade. They do come in a few different styles, different coatings and such. This one has the aluminum handles, and it is 14C28N steel. This is a really cool knife. I do really enjoy. The only thing I'm not super nuts on with it is just that it's only tip down carry. Some people that's not a problem. It's not a problem really. I prefer tip up, but it's a very very slicey blade, hollow ground, very thin. I mean that tip, that is like a needle point. So I think this would be a really good EDC folder. Maybe more lighter tasks or whatever. I mean, like the very thin tip or whatever, and it is, say, Wharncliffe-ish. There's just the slightest hint of a belly. Liner lock, and this is assisted. Not usually huge with assisted knives, but it's pretty cool though. I do like it, and I don't know. It's the only knife I have that has something like this, but it has a little lock feature if that is something that is a concern. But you can engage it, pushing it up, and then you can flick it to your heart's content, and it will not open. Then just simply slide it back, and boom, you are in action. This is a great knife. Like I said, I believe I already said, but yeah, about 46 bucks. So it's a pretty cool knife. I think, especially for the price, under 50 bucks. It's not a huge investment. So if it's someone that, you're not sure if they really like knives, I think this would be a good knife for someone to try out. Because I feel like most non-knife people are really just using it for opening packaging, cutting tags off of things. Not everybody's like us crazy knife guys, and we just, honestly, sometimes I find that I'm just looking for things to use my knife for. But for just someone who's just a regular person, regular user, that steel 14C28N is a mid-range steel, but it does hold its edge pretty good time, especially for someone if they're not using it all the time, maybe once a day or a few times a week. I think this would be a great option, and like I said too, it does come in a few different color styles and such, so it's something to look into if that is something that you are interested in for someone or yourself, because why not? Have some knives here too that'll be good for maybe our more tactical minded friends, so people who might be into more self-defense stuff, or that's maybe more what they're more looking for. One right here I actually really like is, this is the CRKT M1603Z. Yes, they make a bunch of different ones of these. They range in all different sizes and prices. This one here is an AUS 8 steel, at least a 3.5 inch blade, but very comfortable handle. I do like using it. Again, it is the tip down, yeah, tip down only carry, but for most people that should be fine. Does have this little secondary safety lock. So it is a liner lock, but it has that little safety, so you just have to use engage. Oh, yeah, engage the lock. Push this down. I don't know. It takes a little getting used to. They don't all have this. Oh wow. Oh, that was close. Dropped it, but thought it was gonna hit the floor. But it is a really cool knife. And this one, actually, I did write the price down. Oh, this one goes for 35. So under 40. And they do, like I said, they have different ones. You can get tanto, you can get serrated, not serrated, large or smaller. This one, it does have is milled out on the handle, but the steel liners are full steel liners. But they have ones you can literally just see right through the handle. But like I said, all different size, prices, and everything. Get tanto. Oh, actually, I already said that. But great folder. I really enjoy it. You get the spear point. The swedge goes all the way up. It is a flipper. And you can also use the thumb studs. You do have that option, depending on what you like. But it does give you a good purchase on it. So good for stabbing tasks. Not what I have it for, but hey, why not? Someone will find a use for it in that way. $35. Not a bad thing to look into. And they also come in different steels. I believe I might have said you can also get some. They have in 14C28N. They have some in HCR13. That one was in AUS 8. Next up, if you watched the previous video I just posted within the last hour, Spyderco Tenacious HCR13 MOV. This one goes for about $40 to $45. Also, a bunch of different options. You can get it brown, green. They have a carbon fiber one that goes in the 55 range, 55 to 60. It is HCR13, so not the best edge holding, but sharpens really well, takes a great edge. It's a pretty smooth knife. I really do like this one a lot, and you do get the tip up, tip down, left or right side. Is a really good, well-rounded knife. Again, still under that $50 range, so that's pretty cool. I do like this knife a lot. It's a good entry Spyderco. I think it'll be good for just any random person. Maybe it'd be good for them to start getting into knives, or if someone who that is starting to get into knives, maybe you want to introduce them to Spyderco. This might not be a bad way to go. Got knives here for everybody and all different budgets. So, gonna go back with that more tactical mind. This is kind of more just silly. I just got it more just because I just think it's a cool looking knife. But this here, the Spyderco Spartan. I'm sorry, the Cold Steel Spartan. This is a huge knife. Looking at like a 4.5 inch blade. Got the recurve. It's basically a folding kukri. But extremely good purchase. The handle literally wraps around my pinky. But this is great for chopping up cardboard and everything. But it'd be a good, slice or whatever if you're in a knife fight and you're trained with it. I personally am not. I just think it's really cool. It's one of the things I love with Cold Steel. They just make the most ridiculous things, but they're fully functional, and I just think that's great. Also has with the thumb plate, acts similar to, if anybody's familiar with that Emerson Wave feature. So when you pull it out of your pocket, it will catch and then open up the blade. Really cool. This one goes for about $55, and it is CTS BD1 steel. All of these knives here you will be able to find on Amazon, most other places. I just like using Amazon as kind of the reference. I just feel like nowadays Amazon's kind of taken over the world, but everybody uses it, or most people do anyway. So I always like to use that at the very least frame of reference to let you know where you can get stuff. But yes, $55. It's actually a pretty good deal. Right over 50, you get a lot of blade length, and depending on what you want to use with it, you get some. You can be fairly utilitarian there. You chop down a small tree with it. It also does have a pocket clip, tip up only, which is absolutely fine. And you also have left and right hand, and it is a back lock, but it's Cold Steel's triad lock, so very tough. Basically got a little folding fixed blade kukri almost. Pretty cool. While we're on the Cold Steel kick, we'll jump also, I think it would be good for our tactical-minded friends, we have here the Cold Steel Voyager XL Tanto. So this I got I just thought it was just wild when I saw it. This one goes for, I believe, $66 on Amazon. I checked all these prices like 5 minutes before this video, so at the time of this video. But you have a 5.5-inch blade is the Tanto. They do come in, here's the XL, they make the large, the medium. They have all different sizes. You can also get it as just a regular with a belly instead of the Tanto. But very strong knife, very strong tip. I mean, that's what Tantos are really known for, among other things. And again, with that triad backlock here, so very, very strong. I mean, this thing is huge. I mean, I'll put it up in comparison to the next knife we'll show, but the Paramilitary 2. The Paramilitary 2 is not a small knife, but this thing is huge. So we'll finish up with this here, and then we'll jump into the Paramilitary 2, because no knife list, or at least for me, would be complete without the Paramilitary 2. A very notorious knife. So it's S30V steel, which is stainless. You got the G10 handles. You have tip up, tip down, left or right hand carry. And my favorite lock, the compression lock. Great way to go. Now this knife, the prices range kind of weird. I've seen it as low as $120, but I've also seen it, oops, sorry about that, just a little thing on the blade, screen. But I've also seen it for anywhere from as low as $120 all the way up to about $150. So, but when I checked it before this video went up, it was going for about $130. So, which isn't bad, because I was looking at it a week ago. I don't know why, I just love looking up knife prices or whatever. I don't know, but it was going for $140 at least last week. So jump on that. Or if you don't mind waiting around a bit or whatever, maybe you'll drop to $120. Great knife, lots of fun to play with. Very, very utilitarian. It's a great EDC knife. It fits into just about anything. Does have that nice choil. Not the hugest choil person. I mean, I don't mind it. You do get a decent blade length. But, so if you like to choke up, do a little more precision work, that is something right there for you. Great knife, and they do come, I mean, they also have, they do the sprint runs in them. You can get the S1 10V version was the other one I have. I didn't include it in this list today. That one usually goes for about $170. Exact same specs, but you get a nice, like, blurple, purplishy blue handle. But this one right here, I really would recommend. It's just such a nice knife. But moving on, so we have a bunch of other ones that we're going to continue to look at. Actually, we'll go back to Cold Steel real quick. This is a really nice knife, and it goes for about $85. This is the Cold Steel Code 4. This is an S35VN. It was formerly in CTSX HP. Cold Steel started switching over to S35VN, which is cool. I love both steels. This here is aluminum handles. It is pretty slick, but they give you a lot of cut-ins for your fingers and that generous guard. So when it's in your hands, you will get good purchase with it. I mean, it'd probably be a little better if you're wearing gloves with it. I'm not really a big glove person. But that being said, this is a very, very capable and useful knife. Again, their infamous triad lock. So always a good way to go. But you have the hollow ground. And these come in a few different styles too. The one I got was the clip point with the swedge. They also have spear point. And you can also get it in a Tanto. So lots of options, folks. But this is the one I chose. This is the one that just appealed to me the most. Was the clip point with the hollow grind. If I'm not mistaken, I believe the others will be hollow as well. But the blade style, just to me, this appealed to me more. So that's why I got this one. But you also get the left and right hand capabilities, and it is tip up only. It's perfectly fine with me. But it's pretty fun to play with. It opens, it's slick. I mean, it's a backlog, so it's not, but you can definitely do one-handed closing. Just practice with that a little bit. But this is a great way to go. And like I said, under $100 goes for about $80 to $85. I mean, this would be a great knife. Can't think of anyone that wouldn't be happy to get one of these. I mean, I carried this at my previous job doing maintenance for a while, and put this blade through the ringer, and it is held up really well. I would definitely think this to be a great gift to get someone. Speaking of work knives, this was my original work knife, and actually I'm back to using it again now. I just love it so much. But the Benchmade Freak 556. This is the full size, or yeah, 556. This is the full size one. They also do make a mini version, so it's just a little smaller than this. Um, Price difference is about 10 to 15 bucks. This one you can get for about 120. Whenever I've seen, it's always gone about 120 to 125. The mini, what I've seen, goes 110, 115. This one is the coated one. You can also get it non-coated, and they actually have one. I think it's the Super Freak, where it's an M4 steel. I really love this knife so much. I might look into getting the M4 version if I can. I'm not sure what the price on what that would go for, but this is a great steel, and well, it is a great steel, but the coating on it is actually held up really well. I mean, there's a couple little scratches here from when I first got it. I just hit a couple of staples, cutting open some cardboard, but other than that, I mean, the coating is honestly none the worse for wear. It's really held up, and that's one of the things why with coatings I'm not usually nuts on, but the Benchmade's coating, how they do it, is really good. And this knife, I really think you can't go wrong. You do get their Axis lock. Oh, what am I doing? You do get their Axis lock, and it's just, the grippy material with it. It's, a rubber overmold, and, I mean, this knife will not come out of your hand. It's very secure, and it is super comfortable. This is, I mean, at least with my folding knives, it's probably the most comfortable folding knife, but even a lot of my fixed blades, this is one of my most comfortable knives in general. Oh, sorry about that, the phone going off. Hopefully someone will grab on it. Oh. Hopefully someone will grab that in a second. Gonna jump back to Spyderco quick, because we're talking about blade coatings, and this is a Spyderco I do have that has a blade coating. This is the Manix 2 Lightweight. I just want to grab the price, make sure. But this is the Manix 2 Lightweight. This is the CTS BD1 steel version. This is with the black coating. This also is a very tough coating. It's the texture of it, it's not texture like the spray-on, like, painted coatings, like a lot of the, like, SE and Becker knives will be, but this reminds me very much of, almost more of, like, bluing. I mean, it's not. It is a coating. It will come off, and I guess bluing will too, but it's just a different method, if you will. But this coating is held up really, really well. But this, it's similar to the Triad lock. You kind of see here, but there's their ball bearing lock, but works pretty much the same way. This knife is also very comfortable. The curves and everything in it, I usually like more neutral handles, but this literally, the way it's shaped, the handle, it fits my hand so well. This is probably second with my pocket knives only to the Benchmade Freak with comfortability. This one, I think definitely, it's just the way it's molded, it fits my hand better, but with the material of the Benchmade, it's just a little more comfortable. But this knife is amazing. I really love it. I actually have been carrying this quite a bit. I mean, when I try and do reviews, I try to carry whatever knife I'm going to be reviewing more, just kind of refresh myself. I just carry them a lot, and sometimes I just carry for a while, start carrying other, get different knives. So when I do reviews, I try to carry and refresh myself with them. And this here is going for $107. So we're just over the $100 price point, which is not bad at all. As you can see the beard through the Spidey hole. But this is another one. It's a lot of fun to use, and BD1 is a pretty good steel. I mean, it's not, it's not a high-end steel. It's not a super steel by any means, but it takes a really, really good edge, and it holds it for it holds it for a good time. I don't know. I wouldn't say it doesn't hold it for a very long time, but it holds it pretty damn well, and it's really easy to maintain. I do really thoroughly enjoy this knife. I actually want to get some other variants of this at some point. Maybe get the regular Manix. I said this is the lightweight one. The regular one is in the G10, and they do come in different steels, and I mean, they even do, you can get these in the S110V. So if that's a steel that you like and you like this platform, might not be a bad idea. I think those also go up in the 170-ish range if you get the 110V version. A lot of fun. Really cool knife. Alright, where we're going to jump to next. So as you will go, we'll go back to the budgets for a bit. So this is another under $50 knife. So this is the Ontario Rat 1. This one is the D2 steel version. For in the 25 to 30 range, you can get the AUS 8 version, which I do have, but I don't know. I love the D2 one more, so this is the one I want to use in the review. But either one would be great. The exact same knife, just different steel. But you can get them different colors. You can get, this is the Coyote Brown. You can get it in black. You can get it in green. I believe they're doing a carbon fiber version now, which is pretty cool, I guess. So that's something to think of. And I think they even have an assisted one. So I don't know, depending on what you're into, they do have a lot of options for this. But this one here is going for about $40. I've seen them up to about 45. I mean, you get into the carbon fiber, you're looking at a little over 50. But great knife. This is the knife that really got me into folding knives prior to the prior to having my first Rat 1. It was just mainly like, I just carried whatever for a knife, and it was just fixed blades. But I've just, the last like 2 years, I've just been like mainly going for folding knives. Still grab some fixed blades, but this is a great knife. I cannot speak enough about it. It's very smooth. The handles, it is a plastic polymer handle, but it is very comfortable. The texture they do on it, bronze phosphor washers, liner lock, and like I said, the D2 steel does hold a great edge. Really like D2 a lot. The only thing I would just say is, if you do get it for someone as a gift and they're not like very knowledgeable with knives or steels, just remind them D2 is, I don't know, I guess called like a semi-stainless steel. You can get a little bit of rust on it, but if you just keep it clean or keep it dry, it really won't be an issue. But the Rat 1 by Ontario Knives, great knife. Alright, we're going to jump now. Let's go with, do another budget. So this is the Rake P121G for green Hussar. This is also 14C28N. This is a really nice knife. It has a very long cutting edge. It is a very comfortable knife. They do a really good job. It has the G10 handles, and it is a liner lock, and it's actually on bearings. And this knife goes between 40 and 45 bucks, which is amazing. It's very smooth, and it's a flipper. But for a $45 knife, I mean, it is amazing. I really like Rake a lot. I want to get some more. I do have another one. I would like to get a few more and start doing more videos and putting their name out there. Also, I do like, you do have that deep carry-esque, but loop over clips. You only have about that much poking out. Now, this knife, though, is a little over 3.5 inches, so it might run into a little bit of legality issues, depending where you are. Just look up your local laws, folks. I really like this knife a lot. I've had this was one of the first pocket knives I got after I started like getting into pocket knives, really, and I really enjoy it. It's a great slicer. It's high saber grind. It's pretty thin behind the edge, especially the edge that I've put on it. And the thing is great with slicing, doing food prep. I mean, pretty much all these knives are. I mean, if it's sharp, it'll cut right. But this knife is no slouch. I really do enjoy it a lot, and it is left. Oh, it's right hand only. Just looking over here. So, sorry, lefties. But if you can get past that, or if you carry it the opposite way in your pocket, might not be a bad thing to look into. But yeah, 40 to 45 bucks. I mean, this would be a great gift right here. Really think you should look into it. Great little knife. Let's go with another, I say, budget-esque knife. This one, well, I mean, not quite super budget, but goes for about $70. The Kaiser Big Lighter is VG10 steel. It has micarta handles, liner lock, and full stainless steel liners. They do have some milling, and it is left or right hand switchable, if you will. Sorry, but you can swap the clip over, which is pretty nice. And it does have a coating, which has held up really well, but I like it. It's not a straight black coating, but it is held up really well. And the VG10 steel is great. It's a stainless steel, and it holds this edge very well, and it's very easy to sharpen and maintain. So this is a great knife. Like I said, goes for around 70 bucks. I'm going to jump back to Spyderco quick. So the Notorious Delica. So also VG10 steel. This knife goes also for around the $70 range, as FRN, which is the fiberglass reinforced nylon handles. It is a backlock, but once they break in, you can really use it, and it's definitely very much one-handed. Don't have to manipulate anything to get it to work, but it has broken in very, very well. This knife is this is one of my first Spydercos, and this one got me hooked on Spydercos. And they come in any color pretty much you can think of. They have a wide range of colors, and they do have a few different steels in them, which is cool. They have the Super Gold 2 version and ZDP 189, which I actually really like, which will be the next knife we look at. But the Spyderco Endura, so you can't go wrong with that there, is a great, great knife. Oh, it's Spyderco Delica, I'm sorry. This one is the Endura. This one is the ZDP 189 version. So this one here goes for about 120, but the same handle materials on the bronze phosphor washers, and this too is broken in very well. You can use it just like, it reminds me, it's almost like a compression lock. It's from the back, and just with a flick of the wrist, you can close it, and it's very easily used one-handed. And this does have the capability, as does the Delica, I forgot to mention, but left to right side, tip up, tip down carry. Very versatile, and this is a great working knife. It holds its edge for so long. It's a little bit of a beast to sharpen, but once you get an edge on it that you like, you can maintain it very well with a strop, and it really holds its edge. What I've noticed with ZDP is it doesn't quite hold the shaving edge quite as long as some steels, but the working edge lasts and lasts and lasts. This would be a really good knife for someone that, if they're doing tons and tons of either breaking up cardboard or they're using a knife constantly and you hear them complain about having to sharpen a lot, I would really recommend the ZDP 189 Endura 4. But you can also get it in VG10, as with the Delica 4, you can also get in ZDP. Great thing to look into. So we're getting close to wrapping up our folding knives. Only got a few left. We'll quickly look into this here. This is the Cold Steel Broken Skull. There's a 4-inch blade. This one is CTS XHP, but they are going now, so I don't know if you'll be able to find it in CTS XHP, but you can find them with S35VN now. But this actually reminds me a lot of the Endura. Is the back lock, but more the triad lock. This one you really need to press down. It's not quite as easy to close one-handed just using your finger. Some people probably be able to do it. I just have a little trouble with it. But it's pretty lightweight. It has the G10 handles, 4-inch cutting edge, so it might be an issue some places. But this is just a great knife. I love CTS XHP. Holds a great edge. Takes a really great edge. And especially with that blade length, you can do a lot of cutting and slicing with this before having to worry about sharpening. And if you maintain with the strop, you can go even longer between sharpenings. This knife here, let's see if I wrote it down. Oh, actually, not too bad. It's a little less than I was thinking. I was thinking about 75. This goes for 66 right now on Amazon. Maybe something to consider looking into. I would think about it. Great knife. Then the last two. These will be the most expensive ones that we're looking at. So the first one here is the Benchmade Griptilian, the full-size Griptilian with the 20CV. There's the 551-1. It has the G10 handles and 20CV steel, obviously. This one goes for between $185 and $200. So there's definitely a little bit higher up. So it might be something that you really, really love and care for and is into knives, or maybe for yourself. This is a great steel. It is a great knife. I've honestly fallen in love with 20CV. This is my first 20CV knife. But from everything I've read and understand, it's basically the same as M390 and CTS, I think CTS 204P. Oh, you have to correct me on that. I'm sorry. But I know basically 3 different companies make a variant of this steel: Bowler, Carpenter, and Crucible. So this is the Crucible version, the CPM 20CV. It is a great steel. It's a very attractive knife because you got the gray, but it has texture and it kind of show a little bit. It looks like it almost has like wood grain on the handle. It has the blue inlays and then the blue pillars. It's a very attractive knife. It's a lot of fun to play with. It's super smooth. I really enjoy it a lot, and it is tip up only, but you can do left or right hand, and it has the loop over clip. So I mean, you only get that much. So it's deep carry. I would consider that deep carry. It's not flush with the pocket, but you get like 3/32 of an inch poking up. To me, that's deep carry enough. And then last of the pocket knives, then we'll get into the folders quick. I only have about 5 I think we're going to look at, and then we will get into the accessories, only a few, nothing crazy. But the ZT, or Zero Tolerance 0450, this is a great knife. This knife goes for around 200. This is S35VN steel with titanium handles. I believe also that, I can see I got pocket fuzz in the clip. I believe the clip is also titanium. It has the red standoffs, and it is just a great knife. Like I said, goes from 200, is on ball bearings, and is just a great knife. If you get this with someone, they will fall in love with you. There's also a flipper. Thoroughly enjoy this knife. We'll be doing a review very soon on it. Now we're going to do quickly, I'm running out of battery here, so I hope it doesn't die on us. So first off, if you know people that are into the bushcraft outdoor crowd, I would really recommend the Bushcraft Black by Mora. This version, you can get 2 different ones. This one here goes for about, I think, $40, $35 to $40, with just the standard sheath. They also have one that has a cover that goes over, that goes for about $50, and it has like a little sharpening stone, a fire steel, and such. This one's absolutely fine with me, but is the carbon steel version. Now normally it'll come fully black all the way, but it has a secondary bevel. I'm not nuts on them, so I just did a forced Scandi on it, and I think it looks kind of cooler, the two-tone. But it's a great knife. It is super comfortable. This knife is tough as nails. It's not a full tang, but honestly wouldn't know the difference. It's a super tough knife. I've really put this thing through hell. I've done a lot of batoning and just messing around with it. And Mora really knows their stuff when it comes to knives. So I really recommend this one. Now also from across the pond, if you will, this one is Finland. This one is under $20. The Martini Timberjack. This knife goes for about $18. The steel on this, they don't really say too much about what their steel is, but I have quite a few Martinis now, and I absolutely love them. This is the first one I got, and I've fallen in love with it. I actually got another one now. Comes with a standard sheath, very similar to the Moras, but the handle is very comfortable. And actually, guys, hold on. I gotta plug my phone in. We're about to lose you. I don't want to lose you. Sorry about that, guys. Thought we've had a little bit more time. I apologize for this. Let's hope that does it. Apologize for that, everyone. I'll get this video finished up. We only got a few minutes left and we'll be all set. Alright. But just finishing up though, the Martini Timberjack. Great knife, it's very comfortable, and it gives you good protection from sliding up on it. You have a really nice guard. You have the little, I don't know, you call it key on or whatever in the back, little, I don't know, rear guard. But it fits my hand very well, and this thing is about 1/8 of an inch thick, but it carves and carves and carves. It holds its edge very well. I've only actually had to sharpen it a couple of times, and that was just more from damage, nicks, and stuff. I dropped it once on the floor. Scandis can be a little delicate, but it is a great knife. Next here, this one also goes around 100, 110. This I absolutely love. It is Falkneven F1. This is their standard version, the VG10. As you can kind of see here, I want to bring up, you can kind of see a little bit. Up around here is the lamination line. So it's a VG10 is the core steel, and then they have a softer steel that wraps around it. And they do that in their I don't know, blade making process, and it just makes for a much tougher blade. It is also convex ground. The VG10 holds its edge really well, as we discussed with the Delica, but holds its edge well, takes an edge very well, and convexes. Watch the previous videos to talk more about convexes, but um, they're not as hard as I once perceived them to be. I mean, I have a whole story about how I ruined my S1, but I did finally fix it, and but the F1 I think is great. It's, just under a 4-inch blade. Is a very, very nice knife. I use it for a lot of stuff now, and it doesn't have the biggest handle, but it does it. It just fits my hand. It's a little smaller, but it's very comfortable, and I absolutely love it. And I do love these sheaths. I know a lot of people don't like their sheaths, the Zytel sheaths, but I really do. If you really are dead set on not having the Zytel sheath, they make them in leather. I think they go for like 120, so like an extra 10, 15 bucks off of what the standard ones will be. It's totally fine. Great knives. Also, too, so this is our cheapest option here. Actually, it's another Ontario. But this is the Ontario Butcher Knife. This thing is sweet. I've done a lot of food prep with this thing, and it's a 7-inch blade, 1095 steel. Now, this here I did a vinegar patina. Just 1095 oil rust. I just did that to help with it, but I keep coating a fixing wax on it, which is just animal fat and beeswax, and it does absolutely well. I mean, the handle is literally just a very neutral handle. It's very comfortable. I mean, I've even done some carvings with this, which I know is kind of silly, but this is a great knife. I mean, for around 10, 12, 15 bucks, I don't think I've ever seen it more than 15. The only thing is it doesn't come with a sheath. I just kind of made a little, like, rinky-dink when I first started doing leather working stuff. It's sufficient. But is a great knife, and if you feel so inclined, you can make a sheath, or you can just get a cheap sheath. As long as it will fit a 7-inch blade, you'll be good to go. I've even heard of people buying aftermarket or buying K-bar sheaths, because those are 7-inch blades, so that actually wouldn't be a bad idea. So if you figure whatever those might cost or whatever, you figure for probably like 30-ish bucks, you can get a nice knife and a nice sheath. Great for outdoors, great for in the kitchen, great for everyone. Absolutely great knife. And then the last knife before we get into our accessories, which will be very quick, is this, the Benchmade Steep Country. This here, it's a Kydex sheath with the leather backing on it and a button snap. This is a beautiful knife. I absolutely love this. It's about a 3.5-inch blade. It's really, the idea of it is it's designed for hunting. I really think as the jimping up front, so you can kind of hold it like this if you're doing skinning and such. The next time I do have the opportunity to skin something, I will be using this. But it's great because it is comfortable. It will fit your hand well. I mean, you can obviously use it for more than just hunting. You can do whatever you want with it. It'll be yours. But they give you some good texturing as a rubber grip, which is good because, so if you are doing skinning stuff, getting blood and guts, it's very easy to wash off. And then I just think it just kind of looks cool. I don't know if it really adds that much grip, but it has little raised parts of where the tang protrudes through the handle. But it doesn't interfere with anything. It's not uncomfortable. But it's a great knife, and this also goes, I've seen between 100 and 110. I bought it at a retail store, and I think I paid $115 for it, so it was a little bit on the higher end, but I've seen this on Amazon for like $105, $110. But this is a great, great knife. I really thoroughly enjoy it, and it's a high saber grind, and they do a really good job. S30V steel is one of my absolute favorite steels. I know it gets kind of a bad rep with some people. I personally don't get why. I love it. And, fits the sheath well, snaps right in, and boom, it's on your belt, you're good to go. Love this knife. I think anybody who has it will love it, whether it's for you or for someone else. Alright, so now that we are done with the knives, just quickly, and just show a couple of things here. So, as I've talked about in other videos, I disassemble and clean and maintain my knives. This actually you can get at Walmart. Is the little, what is it called? Hyper Tough or whatever. I think it's like about 15 bucks. Comes with tons of bits. Now, I mean, yeah, is it the top quality? Absolutely not. But I've used it for a long time. I'm very careful with it not to over tighten, or if I can tell that screw is really tight, I'll not strip out the screw, or I mean, I'd rather damage the tool than the knife, but I've had really good success with this. They do make smaller versions of it. This one here is their electronic repair kit, so I mean, it has a bunch of stuff I'll probably never use, but it has a huge range of bits, and it comes with a nice bit holder, and you got a bunch of little tools you can use. Very versatile. So if you do knives or if you work in electronics, probably even better for you. But for about 15 bucks, 12, 15 bucks, if you're probably gonna be at Walmart anyway getting some gifts, just throw this in your cart. And this will be good for people who aren't into knives. Good for anyone. Really would recommend that. And then I just have a couple stones, one of which I've actually done a review on. This is the Smith's Tri-Hone Sharpener. Now this here, so is